Let's go. What's up, everybody? We are back with our second OwnersBox episode for week 4 of the NFL. If you guys have not heard about OwnersBox yet, OwnersBox is the best DFS platform because it's Superflex. You don't have to deal with kickers. You don't have to deal with defense. You just get the offense. And Sota, I love it. How are you loving it so far?
Yes, sir. You hit it right on the head when you said the best DFS app out there. I am absolutely loving it. You get the Superflex. I honestly, you can see it on your screen here too, but I don't know if there's actually an app out there as good as this one. It gives you game by game like that, and then it gives you notifications. I love the notification alerts when your player does something.
Yeah, it's nice.
I don't know if there's a comparable out there. This may be the best.
So if you have not signed up for OwnersBox yet, they are doing a deposit match for new users up to $500. So you could get $500 free to play with if you deposit $500. You just got to click the link down in our description. You use promo code MENLY, and you are set.
Yeah, and we are also going to have a pinned tweet with those directions as well on our Twitter page if you forget where to go.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to go game by game. We're probably going to try to take 30 seconds each talking about each game, and then we will get into some of our favorite value plays, some of our favorite stacks, and some players that we are willing to spend up for. Sound good?
Love it.
All right, so let's start with the first game on the slate here. We got the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a 40.5 point game total. Pittsburgh is 3.5 point favorites at home. Sota, any players you want to touch on right away, or any thoughts on this game?
Well, I think we all expect this to be a little bit of a defensive battle, a little bit of struggle to get in the end zone. But if you're looking for a huge value at the quarterback, Zach Wilson could potentially be it. We don't really know what he's going to do his first game back, but you don't want to miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah, so let's see. Zach Wilson is only 5,500. I'm guessing that is the cheapest you can get a quarterback at. I actually did not look at that. Yeah, he's cheaper than Cooper Rush, Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
Sota, are you going to be putting Zach Wilson in any of your lineups?
You know, once they officially announced him as active today, I started thinking about the idea as a possibility. I mean, if you look at what Flacco was doing with that offense, I think he threw for 400 yards against the Browns. Yeah. Zach Wilson should be able to sling the ball a little better than Flacco, you would think, with being the starter. I wish they didn't play the Steelers, but there's a chance Minka Fitzpatrick's out, so I'm looking into it.
Yeah, see, I don't love anybody really in this slate. When we're looking at Najee Harris here, and the opponent rank is the big thing here. 32. The Jets have given up the most points to running backs. A big reason for that is because of what Nick Chubb did to them. But the player that I like the most in this game is Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson has double-digit targets in all 3 of his games. So that's a player in that 5,800 range compared to other players in that range. Deontay Johnson I like a lot.
Yep, that's true.
All right, so we'll move on.
Next game.
We'll move on to the Browns and the Atlanta Falcons. Sota, I'll let you start. This game gets me really excited, so I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, if you haven't seen yet, Adam put out a TikTok comparing Marcus Mariota to Megan Trainor. If you're curious what his thoughts on that, go check out the TikTok. But for me, when I look at this game, it doesn't get me real excited about the options. I think we're looking Nick Chubb. I think he's the best running back on the board this week. I expect him to be up, run the ball a lot with him. Truthfully, that's all I really like in this game.
Okay, and that is complete blasphemy to me. Because Marcus Mariota, he is 6,100. This 18.3 average right here, he's outscoring guys. He's outscoring Russell Wilson. He's outscoring Aaron Rodgers in fantasy. And he's just underpriced. And then you can stack him with my guy Drake London here, averaging 17.1 points a game at 5,600. I mean, I don't see why this wouldn't be a stack. Like if you're doing multiple lineups, or if you're just doing one, the value at this stack is amazing. And then you didn't even talk about the RB5. You just talked about Chubb. Cordero Patterson is the running back 5 on the year. I know we don't like to talk about him because he's a wide receiver, switched running back. But look at these numbers. 22 carries, 10 carries, 17 carries. He rushed for 141 yards last week. Why don't you like Cordero Patterson, Sota?
Yeah, I'm just saying the only play I like in this game is Nick Chubb. If you think about it, the Browns defense has definitely underperformed, but the talent is there. I am not expecting the Falcons offense to do much, and I am expecting them to play from behind. I'm willing to bet Patterson doesn't go over 50 yards rushing.
I would bet you on that.
He might have a few catches,
That's been electric.
If that's the game script.
All right, so I love Nick Chubb. The only thing that makes me nervous with him is that he has 11 touches in the red zone, and so does his counterpart, Kareem Hunt. Does that make you nervous at all with them splitting carries in the red zone?
It doesn't. If you watch their offense, you can tell that when they're going to run the ball up the middle, they're going to do it with Chubb. And then when they're going to try to get the ball outside, they're going to do it with Hunt. If you think true red zone, you think inside the 5, I'm not really concerned about Hunt getting the ball. But definitely inside the 10, inside the 20, there's a chance. But there's so much opportunity between those two, I'm not even concerned.
All right, so last question for you, though, before we move on from this game. So Patterson is the RB5, right? And he is priced at 5,700. There's 2 other running backs priced at 5,700, Javonte Williams and James Robinson. Which of those 3 quarterbacks do you like the most at that price range?
3 quarterbacks or 3 running backs?
3 running backs, sorry.
Oh. That's tough. Let's come back to that question.
Okay, I'm just saying it's hard not to go with the RB5 there. In the second highest point total of the slate. But yeah, we can go back to that. Sure. All right, so next we got Seattle and Detroit. Seattle and Detroit is a 48-point total. And Detroit is 4-point favorites at home. It's always fun when Detroit is the favorites. Sota, what are you liking from this game?
Well, you already know what I'm liking. We talked about this, what was it, Monday this week? I told you what I like here. There's only one real play I'm targeting in this. There's probably a couple other you could consider. But the play I love from this game, running back I'm probably going to put in every lineup, Rashad Penny. He's in for a big week. Lions haven't been able to stop anybody running the ball. Whatever Adam says against him, ignore, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Rashad Penny, 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns this week.
Here's the thing. Rashad Penny's cheap, okay? That's fine. That's all fun. He has 5 attempts inside the 20, and he didn't have any competition. Like, his competition was Travis Homer. Why is he not just, like, a premier back dominating? I am not touching Rashad Penny.
What percent of the touches has he had inside the 20, though? It's not like they've been inside the 20 that often.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's another problem. Like, he's not going to get in the end zone.
But the Lions' defense is garbage. Like, they have been every single week, especially against the run.
Yeah,
that's why I love the play.
31st on here. I think with Travis Homer out, I think they're going to try to get Ken Walker in quite a bit.
That's possible.
I've just been burned by Rashad Penny too many times. It hurts.
That's true.
And there's no way that that's the only play you like in this game. Because if DeAndre Swift is out, Jamal Williams, who is leading the league in red zone rush attempts, is only 5,000. And he will be the back if DeAndre Swift is out.
Yeah, if DeAndre Swift is out, of course, Jamal Williams. Like, that's a no-brainer. But I don't think he's going to be out. He's been marked as yellow every single week so far, and he's still playing.
Okay, but he was hobbling against the Vikings.
He's literally been hobbling. He hasn't practiced a single Wednesday. So
and if you have been on OwnersBox like I have doing my homework, he is not according to OwnersBox, he's not likely to play this week.
If he doesn't
Coach
play,
Dan Campbell Wednesday.
If he doesn't play, I'm putting Jamal Williams in every lineup. Are you happy?
Yeah. I also think TJ Hawkinson is a great tight end play at only 4,600 if Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. That's another guy who's questionable. He got banged up against the Vikes. He didn't practice Wednesday.
That guy's a pit bull at receiver, though. He'll play.
I mean, if he plays, he's a great play, but it's not.
Did you hear that they called
great.
him that on Hard Knocks?
I did not.
Said he's a pit bull out there at receiver. He'll play through it. But yeah,
right,
injuries, we know we're only 3 games in. Injuries mean a lot. Like, that's guys you think might play might be ruled out Sunday morning. You got to be able to adjust on the fly.
So what are your thoughts on Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf?
No.
Why?
That's my thoughts. No.
Okay, so Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, they're each averaging 8 targets a game, which is very respectable for where they're priced. And Tyler Lockett is actually $300 cheaper than DK Metcalf. So depending on like where you're choosing to spend your money, I don't mind Tyler Lockett as like a middle of the line receiver, especially with this being a 48-point game total. I mean, he had 11 targets in his last 2 games and he caught 9 of the targets. So I think he's worth looking into. Another question for you. Lockett, Bateman, and DJ Moore are the 3 receivers that are priced at $5,500. Which one of those receivers do you like?
See, you're asking these questions before we get through all the games.
Well, have you not looked at them all, or
you think I got that good a memory I can recall who everybody plays?
All right, we got Commanders and Cowboys next.
Oh. Just moving on. Doesn't answer my question.
Commanders and Cowboys is a 42.5-point game total. Dallas is 3-point favorites at home with backup quarterback Cooper Rush. Sota, who do you like this game?
Oh man, they really put the bad games first on here. I'm really honestly these first 4 games we covered, I'm not targeting much. If you want to target someone from this game, I think Curtis Samuel's a no-brainer. He's gotten a high share of the targets for the Commanders this year. Carson Wentz loves him, but if you have watched them play at all, you just have no idea what Carson Wentz is going to do with that ball. I think he got sacked 9 times last week, so I'm not really counting on their offense, and that's probably why I'm staying away from this game. But if I had to pick someone, I like Curtis Samuel. The Cowboys' passing games looked all right with Dak Prescott. You could consider Noah Brown. You could consider CeeDee Lamb. Wouldn't mind either, but there's just other receivers on the slate that I'm targeting, personally.
Yeah. Curtis Samuel was the one guy that I wrote down too. He's leading the team in overall targets and red zone targets, and he's not the most expensive receiver, is he? Yeah, McLaurin costs more than him, so I like Curtis Samuel a lot more than McLaurin. I don't want to touch either of the running backs right now for Dallas. They're both pretty solid, but they are just a 2-headed monster.
Yeah, it's one of those that if Zeke's out or something, every single lineup's going to have Tony Pollard in it.
Yep.
If that ever happens.
All right, we'll move on. This is going to be kind of the game of the slate. I think this is where you'll see the majority of stacks if you're playing in tournaments on OwnersBox. I think a lot of people are going to get as many of these players into their lineups as they can. It's Buffalo and Baltimore. Baltimore is 3-point dogs at home, and it's a 51.5-point game total. Sota, what are your initial thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think you said it. This is going to be a very dense game in lineups. People are going to have a lot of players from here. And generally, I like to stay away from those lineups when they come up. But this one's just too hard to ignore. Nobody's been able to stop Lamar Jackson this year. And he's faced good defenses. So that Bills ranked number 1 defense, that doesn't really scare me. I just don't think you can stop Lamar Jackson. The rushing upside is too high. And then the Bills' offense, to me, they didn't really get shut out last week, but they didn't perform as well as they could. So I expect them to really sling it. The Ravens have struggled to stop a lot of teams this year. You look what the Dolphins did to them, even the Patriots. They've given up a lot of points. So this game's rightfully going to be targeted. There is a chance I consider trying to fit both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen into my lineup.
Well, and that's what's so great about OwnersBox is you can get both these quarterbacks in it. These are the two highest fantasy scoring quarterbacks in the league so far, and they're in the same game. We also have tight end 1 on the slate in this game. Mark Andrews is the highest scoring tight end, and Stephon Diggs is the most expensive wide receiver playing in the slate. So this is just absolutely loaded with potential. But yeah, so on OwnersBox, you could put Lamar Jackson in your Superflex. You wouldn't even have to stack him with anybody. It'd be like spending up for a running back. He's in the top, I think he's ranked 6th in the league in rushing yards. So that's something you definitely could do. I really like a skinny stack here with just Lamar and Mark Andrews. I don't think I would double stack or super stack Lamar Jackson with Andrews or Bateman or anything like that. You got Gabe Davis in this slate too. That's around 5,600. But I've already said that I like London here at 5,600, and Brandon Cooks is also at 5,600, and I think I like him more than Davis too.
So here's a question for you about this game. Would you ever consider taking a running back in this game?
No.
All right, so give me your... All right, so take out Diggs and Mark Andrews. Give me a receiving target, one for each team that you would target if you take out Andrews and Diggs.
Well, that's pretty easy. It's Gabe Davis for the Bills. If you took him out, Isaiah McKenzie just doesn't get the targets. He had 9 last week, but yeah. they threw it 65 times or something crazy like that. That's not going to happen again. And I think he's just kind of a little too touchdown dependent. So like Gabe Davis in a normal game situation, he'll probably get 5 or 6 targets, but I like him for the deep ball a little bit. Devin Duvernay has been around the same price every week at this 4,500. He had the really big week 1 because he had the 2 touchdowns. But I don't love drafting Devin Duvernay. There are other value receivers that I'm going to talk about later that I like more than Duvernay.
Yeah, I think for me, if I'm looking at this game, there's obviously a lot of value here, but you got to be able to fit other players in too. I'm probably looking at potentially doing Josh Allen with Gabe Davis and then countering with just Lamar Jackson. I don't think I'll try to fit Mark Andrews in there. I think that's probably what I'm going to try to target for most of my lineups.
All right. Well, it is fun to talk about the tight end every once in a while because tight end, I mean, unless your name is Kelsey or Andrews this year, it seems, or Tyler Conklin, you're not doing much at the tight end position. But we'll move on to Tennessee and Indianapolis. This is a 42.5-point game total. Indianapolis are 3-point favorites at home. Sota, what do you got?
This was a tough one when I was looking at the slate. You think about both these teams, and they're so run-heavy, and neither team has been playing very well this year. So it's really hard to predict what they're going to do. If you truly look at the numbers, I guess you could look at the averages, but I don't think Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor has quite had the year. I know we're only 3 weeks in, but they've definitely underperformed up to this point so far. And I'd be scared to target anything but running back in this game just because these two teams have been struggling. They're so run heavy. But interesting your thoughts, Sak Daddy.
Yeah, JT is the most expensive running back. He's second in the league in rush attempts, and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry he has a tough matchup with the Colts giving up the third least fantasy points to running back, but the touches are just there for both of them. So you're gonna get a lot of opportunity there. They're both workhorse backs. JT is first in red zone touches too, which I like. I like when my running back gets the ball in the red zone. But the quarterbacks in this game, I am not even sniffing. I think they're complete garbage, especially like where they're priced. The fact that Tannehill and Matt Ryan are priced higher than Marcus Mariota is disgusting to me, because Matt Ryan is averaging 12.7 a game. I do like Michael Pittman a lot. It's depending on where you decide to spend your money, but it's a guy that gets a lot of targets. He plays pretty much every single snap, and they just don't have a lot of other options in the passing game, so I do like Michael Pittman a lot.
That's fair. Actually, I hadn't looked into him yet, but I just wrote him down and probably going to go into some research later on this week.
Yeah, he's an expensive guy, just depending on where you want to spend up at and where you want to get your value.
Yeah, he's probably about price right, though, for the amount of targets he's getting.
Oh, yeah. He's priced perfectly. He should be one of the higher priced guys. We'll move on to the Texans and the Chargers. Next, Sota is an old Texans fan, so he'll probably be pretty excited to talk about this game.
Man, I expect this game to be very ugly, similar to some of the other games on the slate that I've talked about so far. Adam, I'm sure you love Pierce again this week. He's got to get in the end zone to pay off for you. Otherwise, you might be just looking at 90 yards rushing, no catches. If he doesn't get any touchdowns, that's just a killer for your lineup. Keenan Allen's out, right?
He has not been listed out yet.
Okay. I think I saw he's likely to be ruled out, though. And if so, I don't think you can go wrong with Mike Williams. There's people out there saying that he might be better than Keenan Allen. I think he would obviously be a great play. The other one I like too for the Chargers is Josh Palmer. He gets some love from Herbert, and he could break a couple here and there, and maybe find the end zone. So,
yeah. So I'll go back to Pierce. I do love Pierce. I talked about him a little.
Wait. I forgot about somebody.
Oh, go ahead.
OJ Howard. You were on him, and it reminded me about him. I love his value at tight end. If you're looking to try to spend down a tight end, I'm a big OJ Howard guy. Think I can't believe more teams didn't want him. Just an unbelievable talent to me.
Okay. Well,
my bad for interrupting.
No, you're good. You're good. I'll go back to Dameon Pierce though. I know he hasn't scored the touchdowns that we've wanted, but he didn't get any carries really in week 1, and then he went up to 15 carries, and now he's up to 20 carries. The number of carries are rising like Deshaun Watson's Johnson in a massage therapist room. So I do like Dameon Pierce. He's still priced. He's only 4,900. So the value is it's there for me. He's going to get the touches. So yeah, I think at value running back, he's probably still my favorite. Austin Eckler is 6,200. Right now, I think I like Chubb a little more at that 6,200. Would you agree?
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I think no matter price, Chubb's my favorite running back on the list.
Eckler's got to prove it a little to me. See, Mike Williams to me, he's like the opposite of Lockett and Metcalf. Like those guys are going to get the 8 targets, and they'll catch 7 of them. So they'll get you some points. But I think Mike Williams is the guy that could win you a tournament because he's going to just have an explosive week randomly. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. He's a little bit more than both those guys, but he's kind of right around the range too.
Yeah. And then did you talk Josh Palmer or DeAndre Carter?
Josh Palmer.
Okay.
DeAndre Carter used to play for the Texans, though.
Yeah. I like Josh Palmer as well, especially if Keenan Allen is out. Josh Palmer is a top value receiver that you should go look for. you look at the games when Allen was out, he had 9 targets and 8 targets. He had the touchdown in the game against the Chiefs, went 6 for 99 last game, so I like him a lot. If tight end is like the last thing you go for, Gerald Everett, I think, is also a great option at tight end. 10 targets and 6 targets in the 2 games without Keenan Allen, so I think there's actually a lot here. Sota, do you mind if I go back to my question now that we're on another game here?
Yes.
So my options were Brandon Cook. What were my options for you again? Oh, yeah. Brandon Cooks, Drake London, or Gabe Davis. At 5,600, which receiver are you taking?
I'm taking Gabe Davis. He's the guy. He's the guy I'm going to pair from that game probably, and he might score the most points of any receivers this week. See, that's the thing. Gabe Davis could score the most points. Brandon Cooks and Drake London, they're gonna pay off for their price, but not potential to get the most points.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks, he gets the targets. He's Davis Mills' guy, but the yardage is just not there, and obviously he doesn't have the touchdowns. But 3 pretty good receivers at that 5,600 range. We'll move on to the Giants and the Bears. The Bears, the prolific passing offense, getting ready to go. The Bears and Giants is a 38.5 point total. Giants are 3-point favorites. Sota, start it off.
I'm actually going to let you start this one off because I can't steal your limelight on your WR1 this week. So I'm going to let you start it off and then I'll fill in.
Okay. I don't know if he's my WR1, but he is a value that I have talked highly of. So we'll start there. Richie James, great value. He slid into the wide receiver 1 spot with Sterling Shepard being announced out for the season. So if you're just making one lineup, it might not be worth the risk to you to slide Richie James in, but Richie James has to be in some lineups because he is the wide receiver 1, and he's priced downstairs with the wide receiver 3s at 4,600.
And who else are they going to throw the ball to at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Richie James, or David Sills is also worth looking at because he and Richie James are going to be the 2 guys. Their rookie tight end Bellinger looked pretty good last week. I'm not sure what he's priced at.
Yeah. So,
Daniel Bellinger's 4,200. So,
fun fact for you on David Sills. I saw this today. All right, nobody quote me on this, but it's something close to this. As an 8th grader, David Sills got offered full ride to play quarterback at USC.
Really?
Yeah.
That is wild. Now
there may be some
Giants.
Incorrect information in that statement, but when he was a super young age, he got offered to play quarterback at a big college. For sure.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
And then he ended up at JUCO and then West Virginia, and I don't know, maybe they'll run a wide receiver reverse pass and they'll get a passing touchdown for 4 points.
Never know. But
sorry.
Herbert, if Montgomery is out, is obviously a great play. He kind of went nuclear last week without Montgomery. Montgomery is listed as questionable right now. So if he is out, Herbert's kind of a lock because he's only 4,900. He's priced same as Dameon Pierce. I would be at a struggle there between him and Pierce. And then Saquon Barkley, I think, is actually my favorite spend-up option at the running back position this week.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously you hit it on there with Herbert. If Montgomery's even a little bit banged up for me, I'm probably going to go Herbert. Just knowing that they'll split carries. They seem to like Herbert in the pass game a little bit more, so I'm really counting on that one, hoping Montgomery's going to be out. Not that I ever wish players to be out, but that's an obvious play if he is. And then, like you said, Richie James. So if you look at that, those 2 are going to be heavily owned in lineups, though. Richie James, and Khalil Herbert if Montgomery's out.
Yep. Herbert,
But
James, Jamal Williams, all going to be really heavily owned if players are out.
Yep. But the play I like, and if people watch Monday night, they're probably going to like this play as much as us too. But I like your Bellinger play. You could tell him and Daniel Jones kind of got in their groove Monday night. I think he's going to get the targets for a tight end. A couple red zone targets probably. I'm willing to take that. He looked, well, week 1 and week 2 were bad, huh? But he looked good on Monday, and that kind of sticks in a guy's head coming to this week. So,
yeah, I mean, if you're looking to punt tight end, it looks like Bellinger's going to kind of take over that lead role at tight end. So I think he's a good option. But that leads us into our next game, which the Jaguars and the Eagles. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites, 46.5-point game total, and Evan Ingram has been my favorite tight end punt play because they just will not move his price up over on OwnersBox. He's still only $4,100, so he's cheap. He's even cheaper than Bellinger, and I mean his stats are like nothing to scoff at for a $4,100 player. He only got the 3 targets last week, but 8 targets the week before, which this year for tight ends is about all you can ask for. So you have Jalen Hurts. He's the 3rd QB, so he could be a popular stack with A.J. Brown. I had an Eagles stack last week with him and Brown. Obviously did not work out because I needed Devontae Smith in there. Smith is only 5,200. So if you think he's going to have back-to-back weeks, he'd be worth looking into. I don't think he is. Goddard's only 5,000. So if you're looking to do an Eagle stack, it's definitely doable, especially if you went for like Goddard and Smith. You could squeeze a lot of players in there. James Robinson has 5 carries inside the 10, which I love. I think he'd be a decent running back to pick up. Christian Kirk, 3rd in red zone targets with 5. He's getting 9 targets a game in total. He has 3 touchdowns. So Christian Kirk has been great all year. I've been getting him into lineups a lot. Sota, you can take it away. Sorry, I went off there a little bit.
No, you're good. I think the length you talked about this game tells you what you need to know about this game. You look at it and you talk about the way the Bills and Ravens game is probably going to be dense in lineups this week. This game, probably as much deservingly so. This is kind of the sneaky game that people decide to stack this instead of the Ravens Bills, and it pays off for them. I expect this one to be high scoring, and like you said, you can just go through the players and you can find just value anywhere. To me, you could even, it would be expensive, but you could go Hurts, Brown, Smith, and then try to counter with Evan Ingram or something.
Yeah, if you really like this game, if this was like a game you were going to bet the over on.
Yeah. This is one of those where you could get a lot of players and it could pay off for you.
Yeah,
I suppose Darius Slay would probably guard Christian Kirk in that game, though.
Yeah, and I don't know, they had him kind of chasing around Jefferson, so I don't know how they'll guard Kirk. But if you're looking other receivers they have, Zay Jones has actually put together a pretty decent season. He had 11 targets last game. He's only priced at $4,800, so if you're looking to save at receivers, Zay Jones could be an option for sure. All right, we are out of the 12 o'clock game, Sam. We got 3 more games left, and then we'll take a quick break before we get to our stacks and value plays.
How's that 30 seconds per game per person going here?
Are we on track or no?
We are way off track, but the content we're giving people is gold.
All right.
I'm not going to complain.
People are listening to this at work. Hey, if this is too long for you, we're going to have TikToks out. You can go on our YouTube and scrub through it. Yeah, we got plenty of ways that you can learn about all the good OwnersBox info. But for now, we're going to move on to Arizona and Carolina. Sota, what are your thoughts on the Arizona-Carolina game?
Yeah. Again, this is one of those. Like, when I look at the slate this week, there's a lot of ugly games. And when I look through value and possible plays, I'm not finding much with this game. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a hard time telling what type of game it's going to be. The Cardinals have been all over the board this year. Baker hasn't been very good for the Panthers. Honestly, I don't know if there's much I'm targeting here. There's obviously some value at receiver for the Cardinals. They like to throw the ball. Murray's a better quarterback than he's shown this year so far. So you could obviously find some value. I think last week Hollywood Brown finally kind of got into a groove with them.
He had 17 targets last week, Sota.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, right there, that's a perfect picture.
He caught 14 of 17 targets.
Well, and just look at the game. So they're getting into the groove there. 6, 11, 17. Now, some of that I say is depending on Rondale Moore's status. But if Rondale Moore's out, and the more I look at this, Hollywood Brown would be the play here. He's going to get the targets. Who else are they going to throw to?
He is a good spend up option at the receiver spot. We have been kind of liking Greg Dortch as well, right, Sota?
Yeah, he obviously had the good week, week one. And I don't think he did, for McConnell, he did okay for his price last week. But again, so much of that is dependent on Rondale Moore and if he plays or not, too. But, God, how did I miss that? Hollywood Brown got 17 targets last week.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's an insane amount. I love McCaffrey here. He's probably right behind Saquon in my favorite pay up for running backs this week. Just because the number of carries is just insane. I'm not sure that's how this game script is going to go, but just the guy's usage is crazy as long as he stays healthy. I know he was out today. He missed practice with a thigh injury, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. If he is out, we'll have to keep an eye on who's their backup. Chuba Hubbard.
Still Chuba Hubbard. Yeah, baby.
Chuba Hubbard will probably get a lot of carries, and he'll probably get a lot of ownership if McCaffrey's out, which seems to happen a lot.
Facts.
But yeah, Greg Dortch, only 4,700 and had 10 targets last week, so that's another good value receiver to look into.
What do you make of the Cardinals running back situation?
I don't want to touch it until I know that James Conner's 100%. Whoops.
Yeah, it's one of those that just tough to find value at the running back for the Cardinals right now. You just don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, they're throwing the ball a lot. Kyler Murray's got the rush upside. I have no idea what's going on with Adam's computer right now.
Dude, it's dying.
Or camera. It's an absolute disaster. But Cardinals rush game, not what I'm targeting.
Back.
And we're just going to bounce to the next game now that Adam's back. Little technical difficulties over there, but
I had an outlet that wasn't working. I all of a sudden got a notification that my laptop was dying, and charger might be having issues. Who knows?
This doesn't sound like a spaceship today.
Yeah, that's always positive. Okay, yeah, we'll move on to the next game here. That's my bad. Could tell I'm due for a break here. All right, we got my favorite team, the Green Bay Packers, going against the New England Patriots without, it looks like, Mac Jones. So we'll probably see Brian Hoyer this week. Sota, what are you liking in this game? Anything?
Boy, the Packers offense hasn't looked great. Romeo
It's looked quite the opposite. They have not scored a second half touchdown yet.
Yeah. Dubes had some flashes last week. I would have a very hard time targeting any Patriots receivers with Brian Hoyer as a starting quarterback. I struggle with their running backs because they're splitting carries. I don't love much in this game. Is there anything you like?
No, normally I'd say like Jacoby Myers has been a really good play for me this year when he's healthy. He was out last week, and I told everyone to go get Nelson Aguilar because, I mean, when Jacoby Myers plays, look at this, 13 targets. He's been Mac Jones' guy. But I told everyone to go get Nelson Aguilar, and then, of course, it was the other receiver that went off, Devontae Parker. I don't love getting either of them if Mac Jones is out. Brian Hoyer he's a veteran, so, I mean, he'll be able to sling the ball around, but it's just like the Jets receivers. I'm not going to touch them with someone who's just coming in for their first game. But you talked about Romeo Doubs. I love Romeo Doubs' value. I'm going to be getting him in some lineups. He's finally earning the trust, it seems, a little bit. So he had 8 targets, and he caught all 8 of them and a touchdown. If you want to earn Aaron Rodgers' trust, that's a way to do it.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't trust much, but the amount of targets that he got last week shows something. I think it shows that they're building something there and probably gonna get some targets.
Yeah, and this was another value running back I had last week was Ramondre Stevenson. Just like my guy Pierce, his carries and his usage is going up, which I like to see a lot because I think Ramondre Stevenson is the better running back compared to Damian Harris. So he'd be a guy I would target, especially with Hoyer in, because I think he's going to get a lot of work.
Yeah, and they definitely like him more in the pass game. So you think about Hoyer being in, they're probably going to try to use a little more pass game with the running back, be a little more creative. So I don't mind that play.
Yeah, and then I think this is a great game. For our last game that we're going to talk about, obviously Denver has not been great this year. Nathaniel Hackett getting a lot of questions. The Raiders are the only winless team in the league. Sota, what are your thoughts on Denver and Vegas?
Yeah, this is one of those sneaky ones where you could almost see it turn into a little bit of shootout. But that's pending so much. That's pending if the Broncos offense can figure it out, right? They got the weapons. Clearly, they could explode at any point. And we know what the Raiders are capable of. They're going to be in the game no matter what. They're probably going to blow it at the end, but they're probably going to be in it. This game could sneakily turn into a little bit of a shootout. But it's one I have a hard time putting a lot of faith in just because of the struggles that both teams have had. For me, though, I do personally love Davante Adams. He's coming off a couple bad weeks. I know he's got a matchup against Surtain this week, but I think, this is one of those situations where Carr probably tries to overcorrect a little bit, and Adams might get 20 targets this week.
Yeah, I think Davante Adams is probably my favorite spend-up option at receiver. I just think the Raiders are going to be desperate for a win. I think they're going to come out slinging the ball around and try to get up early. And I think a lot of that's going to go through Davante Adams. Mac Hollins had a breakout week last week. He made some people some cash. He got 10 targets, 8 receptions for 158 yards and a touchdown. He's still only priced at $4,100. I don't absolutely love it as a value play, but it's one that you might want to throw into your lineups just because, that rapport is there now. I don't love Javonte Williams at 5,700. There's other running backs I like more.
Tough play.
Yeah. And then I don't like either of the quarterbacks. Russell Wilson's only priced at 6,500 because of his name. I'll play Mariota over him. I like Derek Carr as a quarterback much more. I see myself running a Raiders stack well before I run a Broncos stack.
Yeah, it's just a tough one because just neither team has looked that good this year. But you can't tell me I'm wrong. This game could turn into like a 42-35 game.
Yeah, it definitely could, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if the Broncos actually show up. They've looked horrible.
Yeah.
So they played 2 primetime games, and we've had to suffer through 2 of them.
Yeah. I'm not putting my trust in it. I don't recommend anybody does. But I wouldn't be surprised if it turned into a shootout either.
Yeah. All right, so that is all the games on the slate. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll finish up with our top stacks, some of our value plays, and some of the guys that we are happy to pay up for.
Yes, sir. All right. We are back. Anticipated we went a little longer per game than we thought, but just great information for the listeners there. I don't know if you're going to find any better OwnersBox information out there than those 45 minutes we just gave you.
You won't. It's a fact.
And now we're going to do my favorite part where we talk about the stacks. What we're doing for stacks. Are we doing super stacks? Are we doing double stacks? What are we considering here, Adam?
Why don't you just? It's only our second episode. Wing it. What do you got? What do you like for stacks?
Well, you know me. There's a chance that I'm gonna try to do the double super stack with the Bills Ravens game. There's a chance I look at doing Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, and Dawson Knox, and then counter. And I might just do Lamar Jackson just because Ravens are expensive. But there's a chance I might pair Lamar and Duvernay as well, which is half my lineup right there. But that is a double super stack that I am considering for the week.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, mine, I guess, are a little different that I like. There's quite a few that I'm looking into. Obviously, everyone knows I like the Mariota and London stack, so I don't need to go back to that one. But there is a lineup that I'm looking at with a Mariota and London stack, and then I'm also doing a Lamar Jackson and Andrews stack. So that's the cool thing about OwnersBox is you could do 2 skinny stacks like that or two super stacks, kind of however you want to do it. And then I also don't mind if Amon-Ra St. Brown is healthy. I really like stacking Jared Goff with him in that Seattle game. That's an affordable stack that you can do, and then that's another game where you can run a stack back against it. So that's one I like. And then just looking at point totals. Yeah, if you can get any of that Bills and Ravens game and try to differentiate yourself a little bit, that's something you should definitely look into. And then the final one that I like, that I'm probably going to try to squeeze in every once in a while, is a double stack with Murray, Dortch, and Brown. Especially after seeing Brown get 17 targets last week, I just feel like I got to squeeze it in, maybe.
Yeah, for me, that was the takeaway from this call was I got to look further into Hollywood Brown and see if I want to play him. The one game you didn't mention that I think is worth considering for a stack is the Jags and Eagles. That could possibly be the highest scoring game this week. Hurts. I'm not a big fan of Hurts, but clearly he's getting it done. He's got some great targets that he can throw the ball to. Their running backs are pretty obsolete, so take your pick at receiver. It's probably good. Jags, they've kind of surprised some people this year. They put up some points, haven't looked bad. Adam talked about James Robinson earlier. He's getting the red zone carries. We got Christian Kirk. That's a good stackable game too. I like that one.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into the value plays. Let's start at receiver. So, what are some value receivers that you want to look into?
Yeah, so 2 that we've talked about on this show that I've actually written down as takeaways to look at are Josh Palmer, especially with Keenan Allen out. I think you got to consider him at the price he is. Mike Williams is great, but Herbert likes to spread the ball around. Josh Palmer could get a lot of love. And then I also like Romeo Dubes Is it Dupes or Dobbs?
It's Dobbs.
I think it's Dupes.
It's not.
Well, I'm going to say Dupes. Sounds cooler. He's going to get the targets as well. Again, Packers are a little banged up at receiver, so that's another play I like. Let me just quickly pull up. Oh, your WR1 for the week. I know he's not your number one receiver, but you're calling him a WR1. Richie James. I like him. Those are probably three of my favorites.
Awesome. Well, I like if you can get Richie James or David Sills. Just mix them in every once in a while if you're doing more than one lineup. Again, this one kind of depends on the Mac Jones situation and also the Jacoby Myers situation, but I like Aguilar and Parker again if Mac Jones plays and Jacoby. What is that noise?
Keep going.
What is that noise?
I don't know. Something banging.
Well, stop doing whatever you're doing then.
Is it loud or what?
Yeah, it's really loud.
It's not that
Stop
loud.
doing it. But yeah, Jacoby Myers plays. I like him. Kenny Pickens is kind of starting to come into his own. He's only 4,500. Okay, you got to stop doing that.
Kenny?
Well, I can't think of anything. It's George Pickens. I know that. But I can't think of anything when you're making that damn twanging noise. Okay, but my favorite value play of the week is Romeo Doubs. That is my favorite value play at receiver.
See, now we're on the same page. How about running back?
Running back plays. I kind of talked about them all. It's my guy Dameon Pierce every week. As long as he's healthy, he's gonna be good. Ramondre Stevenson, only 4,700.
Throw those in the garbage.
And then Khalil Herbert and Jamal Williams, depending on if their RB1s are injured, those are gonna be great value plays at running back as well.
You don't like me pulling the garbage up there?
No, I'm being a professional. I was giving my listeners what they wanted to hear. And that's me give fantasy advice.
Hey, you're the one that called Rashad Penny pick garbage.
It is garbage.
You know that is my favorite value play at running back this week. He is going to have a huge week, and I cannot wait to rub it in Adam's face come our show next week.
Yeah, anyone that's listening to this, if you have Rashad Penny in your lineup and he goes off, feel free to tag me in it at Sota Sacri. Throw it on my timeline. I'd love to see it.
Every fantasy point over 10 points this week that he has, you have to donate $1 to charity.
We love charity. Let's do it. All right.
Good timing.
Okay, so that's our value receivers, running backs. We kind of already touched on tight ends. We know our values there. We don't need to really dig any deeper into that. Who are you willing to pay up for at each position? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit, but is there anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I don't, man, I gotta quit saying yeah. That's the first word that comes out of my mouth every time I start talking. Anyways,
yes,
though, what was the question again?
I just want to know, like, which players you're really willing to pay up for. Like, you're going to make sure they get in at least one of your lineups.
Quarterback-wise, I'm willing to pay up for Lamar, Josh Allen, and even Jalen Hurts. And the reason I'm willing to pay up for those three is because of the rushing upside. Davante Adams and Stephon Diggs are both pay-up worthy for me. I think they're going to get a ton of targets. Probably find the end zone a couple times. They're going to be involved heavily in the pass offense this week. Running back, I think Chubb's like 5th or 6th on the board price-wise, but he's the one I would pay up for. He's probably my RB1 this week. If you're going to go up for a running back, he's my recommendation. Tight end, you can't go around with Mark Andrews, but I like to save money at tight end, so.
Good stuff. All right. Well, my beasts of the week. Sorry.
Who are you going to pay up for?
Quarterback, pretty self-explanatory. You know, those two guys, Lamar and Josh, are going to be the two that if you're going to pay up for somebody, they're going to do it. Otherwise, I'm going value there. I already said I'm going to do a Kyler Murray stack, but other than that, I would go for like a Trevor Lawrence and try to stack him with Kirk, or go down to, you know, my guy Mariota and stack him with somebody. We know my favorite running back pay up option is Barkley. I love McCaffrey. Those are my two top guys that I'm paying up for up there. And then wide receiver, my favorite pay up option is Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams is going to go absolutely ballistic this week. So I think if you can get him in your lineup, he's going to be the dude. And then my second one is Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is just the only guy that's going to get targets. And I think he's also going to have a great week. So I will have a lineup with Pittman and Devontae Adams. So if you have any plans on winning a tournament against me in OwnersBox this week, best of luck.
You'll probably go Mariota, London, Adams, and Pittman.
Yeah. And then I'll search for value elsewhere. We already know I got value running backs that I can play, and I'll make something work.
I like it.
All right,
Any other week 4 advice for the listeners?
No, I think that's gonna be it. I just want to. I think we could do something fun on this episode that OwnersBox offers. What do you think?
Absolutely. We need to show the people this.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen here. So we've been talking about. Sorry, I'm shared here. We've been talking about the daily salary cap, but OwnersBox also offers something fun called lightning lineups. And if you don't have time to do research like me and Sota do, lightning lineups is perfect for you. And we are recording this on Wednesday night. So what it does is it picks the next NFL slate, which would be the Thursday night football game. So we are going to get some Thursday night football action here between the Dolphins and the Bengals. And me and Sota are going to pick a lightning lineup. Sota, do you just want to give a quick explanation on what lightning lineups exactly is?
Yeah, so you hit it perfectly there when you said if you don't have a lot of time to do research or you're just trying to get one in quickly before a game starts.
Dude, you got to stop playing with that thing.
It's perfect for you. Dude, you got to keep your composure over there.
Okay, well, no one wants to listen to that twanging, whatever that is.
Is it that loud?
I
can hardly hear it.
Like, when you're listening to this back, you're going to ask yourself, why was I playing with that thing so much? It's really annoying in the background.
But the thing is, I'm not playing with it. It's just the spring of my microphone keeps moving.
Yeah, well, stop moving it.
I'm not moving it. It's moving on its own. All right, are you ready for my breakdown of lightning lineups or what?
Yes.
My breakdown is going to be a lot faster than... Oh, Jesus. It's doing it again, isn't it?
What's moving it? You got ghosts or what?
I don't know, man. Technical difficulties. All right, we're going to put it there, see if it quits moving. All right. Lightning lineups. If you don't have much time to do research before a game or you're just trying to get in a quick lineup right before the game starts, lightning lineups is absolutely perfect for you. You can see it up here on the screen. You don't have to go out and select your own players, try to do it within a price range. You're simply picking the best lineup out there and you're competing against other lineups. So here, if I want to go Jamar Chase and Mike Gesicki, all they have to do is score more than those other 3 lineups for you to win.
Yeah, and then you can just choose how much you want to wager. So if I want to play $20 and if I have 3 lineups in here, the payout is 3 times. But if I take one of the lineups out, the payout is 2.25 times your money. And then if you do the Sunday slate, you can get a lot more lineups than just 3 or 4.
Yeah,
so Sota, which of these 4 lineups do you think is going to score the most tomorrow? Actually, pick your lineup. We'll count down from 3, and then we'll see if we say the same one, all right?
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, 2.
4.
Oh, you're a fan of 4. See, Samaje Perine, there's a good chance he scores 0. So you're banking on Tyreek Hill having an absolute day.
Yeah.
But Joe Mixon and Raheem Mostert, we know are both the RB1s. They're going to get a lot of carries.
Yeah, but Tyreek could easily score more than both of them combined.
Oh, it restarted. We took too long.
Does it restart on its own?
Yep. If you see this timer down here?
Yeah, I'd probably pick the same lineup again.
Yeah, so this is my count, so we'll go with what I think here. And this one we don't have the same lineups. This is the choice right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's T. Higgins and Raheem Mostert. We'll put 10 on it, and we'll send it. Should have taken a screenshot, put it on Twitter. See how quick that is?
Absolutely phenomenal. It's the easiest way to get into OwnersBox. If you're looking to get into it very quickly and haven't had the time to do research, jump in, play lightning lineups. Use our promo code if you're going to sign up. Use promo code Menley. Get an account, play little lightning lineups. Let's all celebrate some winnings together.
Stay manly, everybody.